Hi guys, how are you guys doing? Welcome back to AnimeInkArt Live Talks. We were here not too long ago. It's been a few days, but I hope you guys had a good week. I hope it's Friday now, so it's the weekend, and I really appreciate you guys that come on. So, for those that may not know what this show is about, this is AnimeInkArt Live Talks, where we talk with different creators in the community about their journey and how we can support each other better. So, let's get a few people in here. We'll introduce our lovely guest tonight. I'm very excited. I'm always happy. Might be even I get nervous, but I'm very excited. And so our very special guest today is MBM Cosplay FX. So they're an amazing, creator. They do a lot of different cosplay. They are known for doing body paint. They're known for doing VFS, FSS, FX, cosplay, anything from prosthetics to body paint, and using a lot of different materials to create their different looks that they've done over the years. They've been doing it for many years. They have a lot of experience. You also have seen them on the most recent season of Sci-Fi Wars, which is hosted by Nisi. And definitely, let's get them on the show and let's get it started. Hello.
Hi,
How are you
thanks
doing
for having
today?
me. I'm good. I'm good. You?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain.
Yeah, finally Friday, like you said.
Definitely. And again, I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks. I'm so excited. Two mutuals actually tagged
Hmm.
me in your post. So I was like, oh, this is cool.
Yes, I did see that when I put the open call, and I was like, I believe it was Hey, it's Mickey, another amazing
Yes,
creator,
yeah.
and
And
I believe it was
Sapphire.
Sapphire. I believe she's also been on
Yeah.
the show. I love her so
Oh,
much.
yeah. She's amazing. Yeah.
And for those that may not know who you are, introduce yourself and what you do.
My name is Vanessa Mala Nkombola, and I am from Zambia. I'm currently living in the UK. So my day job is an architectural assistant, and that's the main thing, I guess. And on the and on the side, I do cosplay, SFX, body paint. I did start with anime cosplays, which I still do here and there, but I kind of just found myself in the SFX side. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, and it's amazing work from what I saw. So the
Oh,
first
thank you.
question I wanted to ask, because I saw from some of your posts, you've been doing it for a while. I know you've been like sharing it and posting it since around 2021, I believe, like during the
Yeah.
pandemic. So I wanted you to share your story of like what inspired you to, start, makeup and just cosplaying and everything that you do.
You know what? I don't even have like a time. So I did start. The first time I cosplayed was at LSCon, which is the Lusaka Comic Con back home,
Hmm.
which is still currently going on. They do
Okay.
it every year.
Yeah.
And I did the first one I did was Attack on Titan, and people liked it so much, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then this, I think after that, I just did them whenever I felt like it. Um, and then in 2021, just after I had finished my master's, I moved to a new town and I didn't know anybody. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know like what activities to do as well. And Halloween came about, and I was like, let me see if I can do like, I don't know, makeup every day.
Hmm.
And I was really just winging it. Like I would wake up every day. I really don't know how I did it. I'll just wake up like every day, scroll through like what I could do it, and then post. And like that was it. I was just like, this is my outlet for now. And at the time, I was also trying to find a job. So it was like I had all this time. And even after I did find the job, the same thing. I would be at work and thinking about, oh, what makeup will I do for today? And yeah, and then the first time I did it, I was like, oh, maybe I should try doing this every year and seeing. Like I really enjoyed it. Other people enjoyed it as well. I didn't think many people would see it. It was just one of those things. I was like, might as well. So yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. And then it was after the first time that I did it, then I started to look at what like makeup is really like how it's done in movies and the whole process. And then each year I just set a goal, like there's certain skills that I'll learn that I can apply in the next series. Yeah, and that's kind of how I fell into it.
Yeah, of course. And I wanted to ask, what were some of the lessons you've learned along the way when it comes to the different things you did? Because you do body paint, done the prosthetics. I've seen the different things you use. You've used like latex. You've used like the monster clay. You've used so many different things and so many different varieties. What did you start with? Because
Oh my
I
God.
went very like I tried to go back to like even some of the looks from like 22 and 23, and I did see the body paint. I know at one point it wasn't really a strong suit, but you were like experimenting with different things. What was so when you were like, okay, I'm gonna get into this? What was like the first thing you started with to build your skill?
Oh my gosh, the first thing, I think the first thing was body paint,
Hmm.
even though like I didn't really like it at the time because I didn't have the skills as well. Because I would like watch tutorials, but then I would starting to do them, I'm like this isn't working out. But anyway, I'll end up doing it. And then the holy grail was latex and cotton wool, and just figuring out like how I could mold stuff, and then the ideas started flowing that way. Um, so it was, yeah, latex and cotton wool and then the body paint. And it was like the little tubs of Snazaroo, like the really, really cheap one.
That's all
And
right.
now, and now I'm going back thinking like part of it was because the stuff I was using wasn't meant to do what I wanted it to do.
Mhm.
So it was like after each series that I would kind of sit down and say, like, this is something that I need to improve on. What products do I need to use, or is it my technique? And that's how I went kind of back and forth, because um, I think the first series was body paint heavy.
Mhm.
And then the second one I did was like getting into SFX. And even after that,
Mhm.
um, after looking at other people's content, but also looking at professionals, and when they talk about you have to blend stuff in so it looks seamless and all that stuff. So that's kind of after each series, that's kind of what I was doing. But also it
Mhm.
was like a way for me to let go of being a perfectionist, like in other areas of my life, because it's like this is something I'm starting out. I don't, there's no stakes in it, so to speak. It's like if I mess up, then like no one's coming to get me or no one's going to fire me. So I was like, this is the perfect exposure therapy.
No, yeah, definitely, of course. And I wanted to ask also, oh, this is the one thing, because I know you're into like the macabre and like horror and everything like that. So how long have you been into those things?
Oh my gosh. Anyone who knows anyone who knows me knows it was like from the young teen angst days, and it just carried. I mean, I'm wearing a slip-on shirt.
Yes, I've
Um,
seen.
yeah, so I was just like, yeah, getting it, like listening to punk rock, and everything like that, but also getting into gothic music and literature as well. I
Hmm.
don't know, I just like that, like that's my vibe anyway. So to me, it was no surprise that it kind of leaned into that, even if I did start with anime cosplays in the beginning. Even then, I did cosplay, like I think the first one I did, after the first two, I did Kaneki. So even the cosplays that I tended to do with anime were sort of leading me to that as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And also, I'm gonna talk about like variety of looks and stuff throughout the show and everything. But
Yeah.
I was happy to see so many looks from Junji Ito. So I wanted to ask, how did you like find out about Junji Ito, and like how did he inspire you when it came to like your interpretation of some of the creatures that he's done in his different stories?
See, I didn't think that there were any horror um, animes or even manga at the time, because when I did start watching anime, it was like you have to get into the big five, make sure you touch those, even though I haven't like really done all of them. Um, so it was like, it's shonen and all of these other things. So I think it was one of my friends who said, like, you're into this stuff, but like the anime that you watch doesn't really reflect like the music that you like and the aesthetic that you like. Have you heard of Junji Ito before? I said, oh no, I haven't. And so he sent me, I think it was Spiral.
Hmm.
And then I was like, oh, okay, okay. Now I need to do them. Now I need to do them. And then finding out that there was no, at the time, I think the time I did the first one, there was no anime out. So there was only the manga as
Hmm.
reference. So that's kind of where like I picked up my inspiration.
That's awesome. And I want to ask, two of the looks from, from his series was the one that the all of them blow me away. Like all your looks blow me away. But particularly when it came to like the Junji Ito, that's why I asked, was the one that you did for Gravetown, and then um the Benzo Tuzi tutorial.
Oh yes.
How, like, what was the process for both of those, just from setting things up to filming, like the aesthetic you wanted? Because I looked at that and I'm like, I felt like the Gravetown, it felt like I was like, it was a reenactment of like the Magna. And then with the Tusui one, based on the comments, they're like, like, we thank you for doing it. It's the like, or it's disturbed, but like, we thank you for doing it. So I want to ask like the process for those two, and like how you end up doing.
Gravetown was the longest because I was trying to, I couldn't find like um, enough styrofoam because I needed to make the crystals, the crystal shapes. And I'd spent so long planning because I did actually intend to do it the previous Halloween series, but I
Mhm.
just couldn't figure it out. Um, and then I searched how to make, first of all, origami, and that's how I made the crystal looking things. And that took like a week because I thought I need to
Mm.
make more of them. I need to make as much as I can so that I don't run out while I'm like actually doing everything. And then planning it out was, oh my gosh, I think that was, I think that was the most difficult part of why it was so difficult is because I've got a cat and I think she thought they
Mm.
were toys. So when I was setting everything up, she was like climbing on the table and like knocking them off. And I'm like, I need to get these on as
Yeah.
quickly as possible because even the paper that I used wasn't as strong as I wanted it to. So they were starting to like droop a bit. So I was like, I need to do this really quickly, take all the photos and do all the videos. But that one was really fun because it was a blank slate. And even when I'm doing looks like that, um, especially when it's two-toned, like when it's got many elements, you kind of see it come together quickly or
Mhm.
quicker.
Mhm.
Um, but for this one, it was like putting everything on and it's blank and trying to add as many shadows as well because it's black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that was the most difficult part of it. But other than that, it was, I think, one of my favorites. And then for Suji, another difficult one because I had, from through the years of doing it, teeth have been like one of the things that I've been trying to perfect. But because the mouthpiece was very light, if I'd used the polymorph plastic, it would have weighed it down. So I was
Oh.
like going, yeah, so I was like going back and forth and trying to figure out how I can do it. And um, I think it was Mickey, I think.
Mhm.
Can't remember. I think it's him. But I think one of his tutorials was involving foam clay. And I was like, oh, yes, all right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I can use that. But seeing that one come together was actually one of the ones that creeped me out because it was just so, like, I've done bloody looks before, but that one was just like everywhere. And even the scene in it, he's like munching on a leg. Um, and I was like, and sometimes when I'm doing it stuff like that. I'm like, should I take it as far as it is? But I think I would have been like banned or something, taken down for like
Mm.
actually making the leg and like biting into it. Like, if you're promoting cannibalism, but yeah.
That's really cool. And I also wanted to talk about like your Halloween series because I know at first it started off as like just like how you titled it. It was just like, like for the 31 days of Halloween. But then I know like 2024 and then like last year you actually named it Malloween. You said it was like inspiration from your friend to name it Malloween. So
Yeah.
what inspired you to start and like, the evolution to like Malloween, and how has it helped like your skills over the years doing it, every Halloween so far?
Yeah, so my friend who suggested that was like, because we know, she was like, I know that around this time of the year I need to be on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I think of you around this time. So I was like, she was like, have you ever thought of making it like your own thing? And she had mentioned some creators who are like some like remix their name with October or Halloween. And she was like, oh, maybe you should try Halloween. I was like, yes, thanks. Um, what was the second part of the question? Sorry.
Oh, how has it helped you, like with your skills and everything for the past few years? Because like you do it like almost every single day that month, the different.
Yeah, I think it's helped me over the years build my skills because I plan it now.
Mm,
As opposed to before, it was really what do I feel like doing in the day, like within the day. And even looking back, I'm like, how did I manage to do that? And I think if I had carried on doing that, I don't think I would have built up the skills as well.
mhm,
Because the first time I did it,
mhm,
sorry, the second time around that I did it, I did plan like some in advance. So I started in September, and I think I did about five before getting to October.
mhm.
And then at the end of that, I was just really, really tired.
Yeah.
And I was like, I enjoy doing this, but at the end of it, it's very much like, I'm glad it's over. I enjoyed it, but I'm glad it's over. And I thought to myself, I don't want it to be like that every year because if I stop enjoying something, I'll just be like, well, it was a good ride.
No, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I'm just like this burnout can't happen again. So I started like pushing my preps way earlier. So now I start sometimes I start in like July getting stuff ready. Like I put up a list of
Hmm.
like throughout the year I start collecting stuff that I want to do and then start seeing what materials I have, what I can reuse. So I think being more intentional, doing them every year has just really improved my skills as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very awesome. And I just wanted to, congratulate you for being part of, season 3 for the Sci-Fi Wars. And I
Thank
wanna
you.
get into the questions about that. And how did you find out about it? And what inspired you to finally like put yourself out there in that way?
Again, Sapphire is the one who tagged me. And it's so crazy because I think I commented on something that she did, or vice versa.
Hmm.
And from then we've been following each other. We haven't met because she's in the US, I'm in the UK. But like ever since then, um, we've just been like liking each other's posts, sharing, commenting, like supporting each other. And one day she tagged me and she said, I think you should enter the Halloween competition, but I think I was late. I can't remember what happened. Maybe
Hmm.
I did one or two. And then Nisi ended up posting like calls for the season. And by that time, I was so tired from blogging as well because the work that I was doing at the time was like very site intensive as well. So I was like on site all day and then getting home and editing the looks that I had
Hmm.
done. And I was like, honestly, I just want to like rest. And then I told my cousin, I was like, oh, I've been invited to do this by DC. She did the sci-fi one thing. And she said, you should do it. I know you're tired, but you should like put yourself out there. You said you want to like develop your skills in makeup, but also start to be in the industry somehow. So yeah, that's how I did confirm with Nisi, and I was like, yeah, I can't wait to do this now. And I'm so glad I did because it's the first original thing I've done.
Hmm.
Whereas everything else has been a recreation of something that other people have done. So it was nice to bring in all the skills that I'd learned so far, but also get like amazing feedback from people who are professionals as well. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I definitely wanted to talk about, the look that you did because that was amazing. So, um,
Thank you.
I hope I don't pronounce this wrong, but the escutcheon, is that how you
The, e-
pronounce it?
the escutcheon.
Oh, escutcheon. So
Yeah.
I wanted to ask because, like, I know one of the posts you explained like what it is and everything like that. How? And I saw the tutorial, and I'm looking at the tutorial and like the tongue and I'm just like like first off, I'm like, just the imagination to do all of this.
Yeah.
How did you even start? Like, what were the like? How did this come together? Because it's actually like insane.
But this is where my job like starts to intersect. So I do like quite a so I do like quite a lot of details, like drawing and stuff like that. And sometimes I have to specify certain things. So it was sometime after Nisi had announced and I started like looking at ideas.
Hmm.
And I was kind of stuck, but then at work I was doing window details
Mm.
and part of like window and door details
Hmm.
actually,
Yeah.
and which is one of the worst things. So I hate doing that at work. I hate doing that at work. But the keyhole,
Yeah.
I was specifying one of those, and I thought, oh, this could like fit into what I wanted to do because I did have the general idea of like a hotel owner, but I didn't know like where to go or like where to take it. Um, and so I did know that I wanted to do a body prosthetic because I have concentrated more on like my arms and my face. So I thought if I'm putting myself out there, I might as well just go big. Um, and yeah, so the idea for the fingers came, um, and the arm piece, but I didn't quite know what to do with my face as well. But I did want to kind of like tie it in. So that's how, after thinking about the keyhole, I thought, oh, maybe I should have like I don't want to hold the keys in my hand, but I kind of want to make it like, yeah. And I just thought, oh, maybe hands or fingers coming out of my sides. Oh,
Yeah.
there she is. Oh.
Hi.
Miss Swansea. Say hi to the people.
Hello. That's so cute.
She gets jealous when I'm like talking to you.
Hmm.
But yeah, I just thought fingers, maybe I should do something like that. And then for the tongue, I was like kind of deciding whether or not to do it.
Hmm.
Again, like thinking whether or not to take it that far in my head. But then also I thought, why not just go there? I think that's like even throughout the years that I've been doing it, that's kind of been like a limiting factor. So actually putting myself out there, I was like, I might as well just do everything. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't. If it does, you know. But yeah, that's how it sort of like came together. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you did an amazing job on it, and there are so
Thank you.
many details. The tongue looks like it took a lot of time. I saw the tutorial for those. Oh my goodness. And also, how did you feel? Because I know there's like when it came to the competition, there was like different awards, but they had like the People's Choice Awards, and you won the People's Choice Award. So how did you feel to win that? Oh, I can't hear you. Your mic. Okay,
Can you
there you
hear me?
go. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I was so overwhelmed, to be honest. And I didn't think I would.
Hmm.
Also because the people who I was competing against
Hmm.
immensely talented, and they are like in the industry, they're professionals in the industry,
Mm-hmm.
whereas I'm doing something like my main job is something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it was also kind of validating as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because I did just recently decide that I was going to try and pursue it while I'm still like being training to be an architect as well. So it was, yeah, it was incredible.
I mean, I was happy that so many people, appreciated the work and everything like that. And, that is an amazing thing, to be honest. And I wanted to ask, in January, you said that you got to do like a taster day for the Ivor Academy, and you're
Mhm.
planning to like join the course in 2028. So for those that may not know what Ivor Academy is, you can explain it, like how you got the opportunity to do it and like the plans to do it, in that year.
So I came across, it was actually an ad on Instagram. The one time that Instagram ads actually the algorithm worked.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they were hosts, so they regularly host tester days whenever their school opens. And um they didn't reach out to me, but then I did reach out to them and say, is there if I did sign on to the tester day, does that mean that I have to go on and do the actual full course? But the day the when I did get there, she did explain, no, it's just for you to have like a feel of it, and if you really want to do it. But it was amazing because um, they walked us through. So Ivor Academy is at Pinewood Studios in London,
Mm,
where they shoot everything and anything. Um, so it was amazing to be in the place where all of that happens, and the fact that the makeup team is on site as well. So they get to like see actually be a part of everything. Although they did explain that they do some off location shooting and stuff like that. But the test today was great because they not only did they explain like the process, but they also explain like a day in the life as well and what you could possibly go on to do. The entire course, the course is in different parts. You can do the full course, which covers hair, SFX, glam makeup, or you can choose whatever part of it that you want to do. I do want to do the whole thing, but currently I'm on a visa that only allows me to work
mm,
in my particular profession. So 2028 is when I can, where I qualify for settlement and I can pretty much do whatever I want. Like I'm not tied to a particular job. Yeah. So
mm.
getting a feel of the test today was like, okay, I have a goal in sight, and even though it feels like it's far away, I've set it and I've done the test today, and yeah, this is what I want to do. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And also, you got to go to your first medieval festival, the Lockwood Jost, 2025. And how was that
Yeah,
experience?
it was it was amazing. It was so good. That's another one where it was like so completely out of my element as well. I mean, I did go as a witch, which was still in kind of my vibe, but it was amazing. I went with a couple of my friends. They're the ones who actually told me about it. And you could cosplay if you wanted, or you didn't, but it was like a blast in the like way past. There was like the cliches, like the food and like torture devices and all of that stuff, and like witches' corners. But yeah, it was great. It was great.
That's awesome. And with all the different type of, you know, different materials and like makeup products and stuff that you experiment with on a daily basis, is there any like ones that you don't like, but you're like you get used to it? And then what are some of your favorite?
Oh my gosh, the ones that I don't, gosh, I feel like there's so many, but the ones that I don't like are the adhesives.
Mm,
Um, Partly, this is my fault, because I
mm,
didn't quite read up on it, which is Prozaid, which is an amazing adhesive, but it requires a particular, it has its own remover. whereas I thought it was like latex, like the first time I used it. Really, I should have read on it. But the first time I used it and trying to get it off was so ridiculous. And I was on Reddit like, oh, I don't have the pros aid remover. What can I use? And yeah, but other than that, the other one that I don't like, that I'm still getting to like, is body paint.
Mm.
Yeah, but part of it as well is because it's a lot of blending, and I think there's like a lot of technique with, I think with prosthetics, and the more gore you go, you can hide it with like blood, and like you can hide, yeah. But with body paint, you like really have to be precise. But I'm learning to love it. The one that I've liked is the monster clay,
Mm.
because it's just made like it's kind of made stuff easy, because then I can sculpt before I actually do it. And it cuts down my time in half. Whereas the first, like some of the first looks, was relying on the latex and the cotton wool. I had to wait for it to dry,
Mhm.
and so that I couldn't ruin my brushes as well. So
Mm.
it's like a lot, and it's also like a lot of layers, and you have to keep layering and layering, and especially if you want to get like a skin texture as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'd say those are the products. Yeah.
That's awesome. And I wanted to ask, because I know how you said when you first started, you did a lot of more like anime cosplay, but then like probably like that 2022, you started really experimenting with like the makeup and the different looks. So I would ask, like, transitioning from like just cosplay to like SFX makeup, what were some like learning curves, I guess, and what were some things that were maybe similar, but you just had to expand on it?
I think for the anime cosplays, it was more so getting the clothes together, like getting elements of it. And um, initially, when I did start, I was very much like, oh, it has to be accurate, otherwise it's not cosplay. And figuring out that it doesn't necessarily have to be. Um, but the difference, or I guess the jump, is because I was doing just the clothes, I kind of felt like I wasn't being as creative as I wanted to be. Um, the like being an architect, in school, you are very creative. Like they push you to be creative, but once you get out into the industry, it's very much there's regulations and everything. So you can be creative, you can, but that's like a short process in the entire thing as well. And it kind of felt pent up as well. It's like there's
Mm.
so much that I want to, there's so much that I did in uni, there's so much that I want to do, but I can't do it in practice.
Mm.
And I thought, even though I did love anime cosplay, which I still do,
Yeah.
um, I just felt like it wasn't doing as much for me as I wanted it to. So that's how I kind of transitioned into that, yeah, into makeup and SFX.
I mean that's pretty fair. That's pretty fair, and it makes sense, considering like how much you do love horror. I think it was like one of the best decisions that for you specifically.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I wanted to ask, when it comes to like your regular horror, looks that you've done, that's not like Junji Ito or like anything anime horror related. Do you have a favorite look? There's so many. Like I could talk about like all of them if I could, like if I had the time. But do you have like a favorite one, and what the inspiration was for it was, and like the process?
Mm, I should have pulled up my profile actually. I think I have like favorites from each year.
Hmm.
Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can start this
Yeah, no
off.
problem.
I may come out of the stream. I don't know if I'll still be.
Okay. You're here. It's just pause, probably because you're looking. Let's see. So for anybody watching, I do have the screen share. I'm still just learning if you guys can see it. I think I know how to use the option to share, but
Oh,
I
to share like the profile.
yeah, like to share. It's like to share my screen because sometimes I do have like the guest profile up, but I tried it once and I'm not sure if people can see. But I could try. Let's see. Uh, okay. Okay. I think. Okay. Yeah, they can see it. So let's
Oh,
try.
okay.
There we go.
Yeah, so yeah. So the brain was my favorite
Oh, this one.
from
Let me.
last year.
This one.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah.
Okay, that was your favorite from last year. So what was the
Yeah.
process for that one?
Oh, this one. Oh, fun fact. So I did one of my favorites from the previous year was Ghetto. And
Mm.
so I actually reused the brain for this. And I kind of like layered the paint job so that I could hide the back.
Mm.
Because it was a stark pink with, and then I had to flip it over because the teeth
Mm.
of Kenjaku was still attached. So I was like, oh no. So I had to flip it over. But also, and that's kind of how I plan stuff now. Like, what do I still have that I can reuse, or improve on as well? And also just the paint job as well. I like how everything turned out. Yeah, yeah,
It's
that was
awesome.
last. That was yeah.
That was last year, and then we're gonna do because I know I like the idea of you doing like the from the different years. I will scroll as fast as possible.
Oh, and the burn as well was my favorite. I would
That
say
was
the
your
brain
favorite
and
too.
the burn. Yeah, the burn because like the previous year, there's a creator that I follow, and they were talking about like sometimes you have to do realistic stuff on set, and you have to know what they actually look like. Like you can't dream up of what a burn looks like or something. So
Yeah.
this time around, I also started to look at like stuff like that.
And then this
This
is
year,
24.
that's 24. What did I like 24? Oh, my favorite was Darth Maul in 2024.
Okay. I have to scroll down a little bit for that one.
You've
Oh,
passed just slightly.
this one.
Uh,
Or oh,
to
this one.
your yeah, yeah,
Okay. Yeah. And what was
yeah.
the process for this one?
This I'll never forget this one because I was exhausted after work, and I
Mm.
thought, oh, I'll do this tomorrow, and then 2 a.m. I was like, let's go.
Not the 2 a.m. Oh my god. It's
I was
always
like,
the
well,
after. It's
it's
always the
I know.
after midnight. It's always the after 11 o'clock.
I know, and I'll never forget because I was fully going, like drifting into sleep. I was like, no, the energy is there. And this one was the first time that I used a bold cap
Mm,
and tricky. And then going to Iva Academy, and they were saying this is like a week or a 2 week long course putting on a bold,
mm.
like to get it correct. I was like,
Oh.
I see why, because yeah, like to actually get it to look like, there's no lumps and bumps and everything. And I
Mm.
thought, yeah, that's why I had a difficult time, because, but
Uh,
I did try as much as possible. But yeah, I loved it, and I loved the process of making the points as well.
it's awesome. And let's see. I'm scrolling fast, guys. That's that. I can't say that's my specialty, but this is 23. This is
I think
23.
that was, ooh, which one did I enjoy?
There was a lot of
Uh,
good looks in here.
oh, it was the Silent Hill Nurse. I think that was my
Uh,
favorite one.
this one.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the video. Yeah, so what was the, because I know you do a lot of behind the scenes as well as like, like you have like a video of it, you have the behind the scenes and then, like a photo. So with
Yeah.
this particular project, um how long did it take? And then what was like kind of like the process that you took to do everything?
This one took, I think, 3 days to actually make the head piece, the face cast. But
Mm-hmm.
also at this time, I didn't, because I was doing it, sometimes I was doing the preps 2 days before, 3 days before.
Mm.
Recording the behind the scenes wasn't even in my mind. So that's why, like, when I look back, I'm like, it's so fragmented because some of them I was picking them up from like live photos, like extracting
Mm-hmm.
the videos and just like putting them up
Mm.
together.
Yeah.
Whereas now I like fully set up and record the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But this one was one of my favorites because it was just, first of all, it was the first time that I made something like that. Um, and seeing it come together was amazing as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And let's see. This is 23. I believe these are 22. Yep. So
Oh,
which
22. 22 had to be the spiral. Oh my gosh, looking back, I'm like, there's so many mistakes.
that was one I love. So I love that you did love it despite everything. So okay, with this look, I'll ask because this was like more in your earlier years. What was something
Yeah.
you loved about the look, and what was something that you would have improved on? Because I know you're like you love it, but you're like I wish I could have did something
I'm like, oh my gosh, she was young and naive. Um, this one I love very much because like this, after doing the body paint and not liking it, this was the first one that I was like, I see, like I see how I can fall into this and actually like it. Like this was the first one that I did that I felt I did in the series. We actually blended quite well and actually got the spiral to do what I needed it to do. And um, I think this was also the point where I was like, I don't need to, I can start all over again.
hmm
Because for some of them, I was just like, I've done it. I don't care if it looks bad, I'll put it out. Whereas this one, I was like, the spirals don't look right. I can just take it off, which brings me back to the whole like recovering perfectionist, like
hmm
trying to let go of it, but also be like, put more time into what you're doing. But but yeah, this was my favorite because it like worked out. What I would change though was like I would add more texture with latex because it
hmm
was just purely black and white paint on my face. So I think adding more texture would have like added some depth to it.
No, yeah, that makes perfect sense. And yeah, I believe you did something. Oh yeah, so that's like majority of
Yeah,
like the like from favors from the different years. And now that
yeah.
I know how to finally I don't know how to screen share, that's going to help in the future with a lot of different creators that have projects that I could show up on the screen. So thank you for having the amazing work that I figured this out because it was one because like
I'm so glad you figured it out because I would have thought like, oh, they can't
yeah.
see anything, they can't see what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And I actually, before I like stopped sharing screen, I wanted to ask about the Tomie process.
Mm. This one was very difficult. I remember this one. So yeah, because part of it was looking back, I wish I did have Monster Clay or discovered Monster Clay then, because I feel like it would have made the process much easier. Um, but I did do a trial of this particular like scene where I like tried to make the side of the face come out. I did it about once or twice, which again I wasn't focused on doing to like behind the scenes and like recording what failed and what didn't at the time.
Mhm.
And then I was going to bench it actually, but then I'd gone to a hobbycraft store which had so many things and it had one of the paper mache masks. And I was like, oh, I can like stick stuff onto it. That didn't work because the features were not. not me with the pointy nose and everything. And I was like, so I ended up making like a face cast,
Mm-hmm.
the same way that I did with the Silent Hill nurse, and
Mm,
then like kind of attached it. I did do half the paper mache because the face cast was heavy
yeah.
and it was like kind of weighing down on my head. Like when I kept trying to do
Mm,
that, it was like I could feel that it was shifting. So yeah, and also because it was slightly heavy,
yeah.
most of the photos I have are of me holding it on. So I couldn't just like let it go because it was just like I could literally see it sliding off my face. I was like,
Oh,
yeah.
oh my God. That's oh my
Yeah.
God. I'm glad
But
I'm glad that it like came out well. And for those that want to see the picture, I'm trying to see just to find the picture. Or did you do a
oh, do I
picture
have
for
it?
this or
Oh, I remember for this one I did tutorials after everything. So the
oh okay.
pictures might be like
Like
lower.
lower.
Yeah,
Oh,
than
that
before.
that
Yeah.
one. So
Yeah.
yeah, for those that want to see like the look, this was the look, and it came out very well.
Thank you. I think I'm going to redo it as well at some
Yes,
point.
feel free. And I wanted to show them, the look and like go into my next question because you do a lot of like behind the scenes and tutorials. Was that's because how my page reminds me of like on TV when I would see like different makeup creators like like show the process, show the picture. It kind of reminds me of like those makeup shows, right? Like that's the
Yeah.
vibe I get from your content. And I wanted to show this one while you explain. Was that always like the idea that you had that like after you do the looks you would always do a tutorial, or did that happen over time with you doing like the looks over the years?
It happened over time actually, and part of it was a few of my friends did ask.
Hmm.
Um, one of my friends asked if I bought like everything, and so I was like, oh no, I do make them, and somebody else in the comments was like, oh, then it would be nice to kind of see them, and then I said, oh, sorry, I haven't recorded anything at all. I haven't done anything. But then the following year was where I was like clipping stuff from live photos, and it still like didn't come together. But then I also realized it was going to be quite labor intensive as well, like the
Mm,
editing
mm,
um, process. But then I thought that I should document stuff so that I can go and look back at
mhm,
what I've done and
mhm,
also see like what techniques that I could improve on.
mhm,
Because for the sci-fi wars, actually,
mhm,
the arm piece, I
mhm.
did go back to the burns
Yeah.
and the necrosis look as well.
Mhm,
And even though I knew what I had done at the time, it was nice to actually go back to the video and see what I was doing, what brushes I used, what particular colors that I used as well. So it's nice to actually go back and see. But also, I think it's another thing was that it was nice for me to document as well
yeah.
my my entire process. Just like to also have a show of like what I've done as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
there's the
a
tongue.
like I said when I saw that, it kind of reminded me of like on regular TV, especially like the Sci-Fi Channel where they used to have, I forget the name of the competition that they used to have.
Face off.
Yes, Face Off, and you would get to see the behind the scenes because they had the different challenges, where they get to do the whole look, and you would see behind the scenes, and that's kind of like what it gave me when I started watching the content and seeing that you had the behind the scenes. It kind of made me like more interested to see more because I kind of knew that okay, 8 times out of 10 and 9 times out of 10 there's gonna be a tutorial afterward.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I was also just trying to figure out how to curate like everything.
Hmm.
Because the previous year I did this because I think the first, or maybe not, I can't remember, but I did say that I was going to do the photos, the short video, and the tutorials. But at the time I was also doing my professional practice and
Mm,
editing the tutorials was taking way too
mm,
long. So I just decided I'll do the photos and the like the short clip in character. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I'll be fine with that. But then um like I said, like every year
Mm-hmm.
I learn different things, and not necessarily with the makeup, but also just
Mm-hmm.
time management as well. And I thought if I start doing the looks earlier, then by the time October rolls out, I'll have more time to actually edit the behind the scenes and everything, which worked out quite well this
Yeah,
time around. Yeah.
yeah, that's true. And like you said, you do a lot, outside of, this, like, for fun, for your content and everything. And I wanted to ask, how do you deal with, feelings of burnout or feeling overwhelmed to, to get you back to creating, once you have those feelings, and just trying to balance the best way you can. Balance is not easy.
Oh
Sometimes,
yeah.
sometimes it will be fine for a while, and other times you're like, oh boy, I'm just gonna get through this.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why I decided to make it like an annual thing.
Mm,
Because then I can do like an intensive recovery
mm,
and then like fully get into it. After I do at some point want to get into making stuff regularly, but I
mm-hmm.
also don't want to put too much pressure on myself because I do have a day job and I don't want to have to be burnt out on both ends as well. So taking like doing the series and taking that long break in between.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but still, like one thing that I still do is I do dip in and out of Instagram still,
Mm-hmm.
and I make sure that I support other creatives that do it like throughout the year,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean when Halloween comes up, they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're back! You need to be in it." I'm like,
Yeah, I saw some
yeah.
of the comments.
They're like, "Oh, it's my favorite time of day." I'm like, "It's my favorite time too." Yeah, so taking that time and um going back to how it has helped me with like perfectionism is because I feel like younger me would have wanted to do stuff every single time,
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
every single time, and ignoring the burnout as well. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like even getting older, not ancient, but like getting older, listening to your body and what it needs, because like I remember the first year that I did it, I was so exhausted and I was in denial as well from the exhaustion because I enjoyed it so much. I
Mm.
was like, how can I
Yeah.
be so tired when enjoying all the creative process and putting all of this out? And even like I didn't have the intention of like not having people see it, but like my intention wasn't for it to be like, oh, people should see it. It was just like it's my creative outlet. And I didn't want to feel like that. So I just said, if I'm going to do this, I just need to be intentional and just not burn out as well.
Yeah. No, that's something that I constantly have to, well, recently have to remind myself, like, just please, please, like, remember to take breaks and everything like that. But I do understand. Oh, I think you froze. Hopefully it comes back. Oh, let's see. I oh wait, let's see.
Do I need to join again?
I think
Or
I
did
just
that
have I just
just
have to
stop?
kick out the other one. Sometimes it does like a double, so that you just have
Oh,
to kick
okay.
out the other one. But no, it's something that I have to remind myself to, like, the, especially this week. So,
Yeah.
so I appreciate you saying that, because it is true. Sometimes you have to be like, I am burnt out for the most
Yeah.
part, because sometimes you don't want to. I know I have those moments where you don't want to admit it. You just want to keep going, but then something tells you, like, no, 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 no. You
No, no. You will collapse at the speed.
gotta.
Just relax.
So, but yeah.
Yeah.
And one question I asked is about support in the Blur community. I asked, what do we do well to support each other? What is our work, and just each other? What can we do to just improve on that more? I asked that question because everybody has a different answer depending on what, like, where they are in the community, or what they do in the community, or how they've interacted in the community.
I think um, one of the things that I've appreciated is being tagged in like something like this and also sci-fi wars because
Hmm.
and I guess also not being on it or not like being creative throughout the year and not actually being on it, I feel like I miss something. So
Yeah.
certain mutuals who know more or have been in it for longer, just plugging each other. I think that's something that works out very well. Or even just learning seeing something like a technique
Hmm.
and tagging the person and saying, "Oh, I saw this person doing that," which I think is like incredible. And honestly, the age that we're in, like the fact that I can do this and we're in completely different countries and continents as well is like amazing. So I think there's not as much there's not as many barriers as there were before. So I think constantly supporting, liking, sharing now. Yeah, and also just giving tips as well and messaging each other. I think that's another thing. And yeah, I think one thing that one my friends and I talk about is how like there's a so back home
Hmm.
the Comic Con is I don't say it's young, but like I think the second one was in 2018, and they've
Okay.
been doing it every year. Yeah, whereas like back home you hear about MCM Con and all these things that have been
Yeah.
happening for years, and you can see how it's like matured and everything.
Hmm.
And seeing that growth and
Hmm.
seeing that consistency, I think that's something that would benefit the blurred community as well, which I see a
Hmm.
lot. I see it more in America as well. Like
Hmm.
I like the community of cosplay
Hmm.
and on that side of the pond. So yeah, I think that's just constantly supporting each other, tagging each other. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I wanted to ask, what are some of the goals that you have going forward? It could be long term, short term, whatever you want to share.
Long term. I think short term is posting more, like
Hmm.
in between the year.
Hmm.
Um, not sure how I'm going to do that or like what I'm
Yeah.
going to do in between, but
Yeah.
I do kind of want to keep it up, whether it's actually putting out looks or
Hmm.
putting out like me learning a technique or something, or like looking back on certain looks and saying I'll do this differently. So like just trying to figure out how I can keep momentum as well throughout the
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Especially I mean, I'm still doing my professional practice now, so that's taking a lot of my time. But when
Hmm.
that's done, I think I'll have more free time to do that and just like figure that out.
Hmm.
And then long term is eventually getting into either academy or a different makeup and film and SFX academy and documenting that. And I think another one of my long term goals is whatever I learn in that, I look back on old stuff and either redo them or again reflect back and just like look at the growth as well. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I understand just from seeing the time that you put into your looks. I understand like the struggle that may be to figure out what can you do, that's like in between because
Yeah.
it takes a lot of time. So I understand.
Yeah, especially since now that I start my preps in October, so
Hmm.
I'm sorry, in August. So
Okay.
it's really like the whole of October done, and I usually take like the till the end of the year to like rest and not do anything.
Yeah.
And so it's really from January to August that I'll like have like, not have to do stuff, but like plan to do things.
Hmm.
And then stop that and then get into like prepping for Halloween. So it would be like trying to curate that for myself. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And one of the last questions I was gonna ask is, how has this journey just helped you as a person? It could be in any way that you think.
Ooh, a loaded question. It's becoming therapy now. Um, let me just plug in my phone.
You're
Sorry.
good.
Um, I think the biggest ways is one, I've mentioned it quite a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
one is letting go of perfectionism. I think, and the pressure behind it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also given me confidence, um, because the fact that I've documented it and the fact that I can see the improvement in real time, I feel like it's one of those, like, self-improvement is,
Mm.
sometimes I feel like we're hard on ourselves, or I'm
Yeah.
hard on myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm not progressing, or I think I'm not improving. And so being able to actually see it in real time as well, and also
Mm-hmm.
see it from peers, is also quite validating. So I think it's just helped me grow and not, weirdly, not take things as serious as I used to
Mm-hmm.
as well, because it did start as a way to blow off steam, but also settle in a new town that I didn't know anybody in, and also channel a lot of my creative um, energy. So it's just, I feel like it's helped balance me out in a way that I didn't think. Because I mean, I don't even know how I got into makeup. Like, I know, but at the same time, it's like, if you asked me while I was in uni, architecture was all I wanted to do. Like, like I couldn't even think of makeup at the time, because even then, makeup, I think the only makeup I'd do was like the liner and mascara and everything. Like, I didn't know I could take it as far as I did. And the biggest lesson it's taught me is to just try everything and anything legal.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And again, I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show. Hopefully, you had a good time.
Oh, it was amazing. Yes. I can't believe an hour's gone.
But yeah, definitely. Thank you for your time. And I just want to
Thank you
give
for
you,
inviting me.
you're welcome. I just want to give you the chance to plug
It's so
in.
amazing. Oh,
I
I did
appreciate
I
it.
did want to ask I did want
Yeah,
to ask a question. Like,
yeah.
how did you come up with the platform? Because it's amazing that you like find, or you invite, I think the most amazing thing is that you invite
Hmm.
people.
Hmm.
Like, going back to your question about
Yeah.
how, like, the community,
Hmm.
um how we can prop up the community. I think this is one of the great things, because I feel like sometimes, um like, more established pages, if I can use that word, or sometimes it tends to feel exclusive, because they'll only invite people that have like many followers, or have gotten some type of attention. So it's amazing that this platform exists, honestly.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
no
So
problem.
yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, I tell people all the time, I didn't know the direction I was going to take after because I think, because I've been doing like my brand, like Anime Ink Art, because I do multiple
Yeah.
things like cosplay and art, and there's so many things I like to do. I have like, the struggle that multifaceted creators have.
Yeah.
Whoever comes on the platform, they kind of just know you for that thing at first, and everybody knows you for different things. So sometimes it's hard to show everything.
Yeah.
But one thing I always did was because like the a few months into like my first year, just you learn different things, and then you probably get into like bad things and people trying to scam and all this stuff. So I was trying to find a way to keep doing what I was doing, and living where I live, where people like anime, but they kind of like feel out the vibe to talk
Okay.
to you. So that's kind of like, but I know that there's people out there. I was part of a group, like I had a group of friends that wanted to do like their own thing in podcasting and everything, but it didn't go through. And I guess at the time, like when you're doing your stuff, you think like, oh, there's nobody out there, and da 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 da, right? And
Yeah.
then finally, when I started my stuff and I joined the particular group at the time. It was called Famicom Online. I found all these creators, and that kind of like inspired me to keep going. But then I was like, oh well, people I know, because at the time I switched my personal account to my business account. I was like,
Hmm.
maybe they want to see it, get inspired, people that know that like anime. So while I was doing my stuff, I started sharing different creators that I saw from like
Oh,
the
nice.
platform and everything like that. And that's what I was doing for a few years while I was doing my stuff. So like the people that's been there since probably 2021 when I started, 2022, 2023. I used to call it Anime Inkart Black Brand Spotlights. Like, I'll just post somebody, say like, oh, I'm gonna highlight them. It used to be in the stories. I
Hmm.
would share just like, like how all of us do. Like we share our favorite
Yeah.
people. But then at the end, I would be like, if it came from TikTok, I would be like, I'll post a link, and then here, follow them here, put the link tree. So I was doing that for a while, but then as I was trying to figure out my own content as well, people came to me and they were like, you can still do that, but it's kind of overshadowing your content. And I was like,
Oh,
I understood that, but I still wanted to support people in a different way. So I kept doing it, but I started focusing on my content as opposed to the spotlights. Like I was still spotlight people, but just in the stories. And then
yeah.
fast forward to 2023, because shout out to my friend Obsidian Comics. We would
Oh,
have
yes, I've heard of them. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So they were very good friends, and like we would talk about different things in the community and how we felt about, sometimes we would come to the same conclusions about how we feel and like everything like that. And they said we have to find a way to like highlight other creators and stuff like that. And now I
Yeah.
didn't like going live. I wanted to be more in tune with my audience because I took business classes and how they mentioned, you know, getting to know your community more. And that's something I've been wanting to do anyways, but I felt like the talking aspect was the one thing because
Yeah.
I would message people, that got to know me, and but then for the most part I post my stuff and then I'm off I message. You know what I mean? So I felt like
Yeah.
I needed
Yeah.
something to engage with people, and I was like, maybe I should just go live with people and talk about their experience so people, I guess, get to follow them and whatever. But I was really, really nervous because one,
Yeah.
I don't go on live. Two, people don't know me to do interviews. That was
Mm.
the second part. And then three, I didn't know if people wanted to talk to me in that capacity for over 20 minutes. So
Yeah.
I that's kind of how it started. I made a post and I said, "Hey, I have this idea, and like, you guys that like know me for a while, like, just DM me if you want to be a part of the first And that's why the show was on IG, and I used to call it an IG live series. I didn't say
Oh,
podcast,
okay.
and I was doing it for a while, and that's how I called it AnimeInkArt Live Talks because I was doing an IG and it's for my brand. And I started with the few people, and they liked the idea. And I guess it's because I when I told them the idea, I said it's not really for you to know topics. I just need to
Mm.
find a way to like for people to know about people and engage. So they said, "Oh, I'm down for that idea." They liked it, and then that's
Yeah.
here we are.
Honestly, it's amazing. Like, even though you say like you're not known for your interview skills, I'm like, why is she lying?
No, like if you saw like the first few, like I've had experience, like doing interviews and
Hmm.
like doing volunteer work, so you have to talk to people, but I never
Yeah.
sat down and asked people like questions.
Okay. Okay. I see. Yeah. Yeah.
So in the beginning, I actually was like, I would get through like the half an hour and I feel like I'm doing good. And then I was like, kind of like trying my
Like
best to get to the,
doubting.
like that. So I've been doing it for almost 3 years now. So
Yeah.
it's more like I've had a lot of time.
Yeah. I mean, it's been amazing. So
Yeah, of course. And thank you
don't
for
ever
asking
stay down.
thank you for asking the question. And
Of course. Yeah.
I wanted to like give you the chance right now just to plug in where you want people to follow you and keep up with what you're doing.
Oh, I think the main platform is Instagram. That's the place that I'm mostly consistent on. Yeah.
All right, and then I'm just gonna
Instagram, NVN Cosplay FX.
yeah, and I'm going to put it on screen so that people can follow. So right here, and then let me do that again. I
Oh, and
swear.
thanks for everyone in the like I've seen like the
Yeah, of
comments
course.
popping up. So thanks for all the
Yeah, of
feedback
course.
from everyone.
Yeah, I swear I know what I'm doing most times.
I think you posted it in the chat though.
Okay. No, it was a
Yeah.
lag. It was a lag on my end, but there you go.
Oh, okay.
Make sure you guys follow. Make sure you guys support. Definitely need to get her up there because do amazing work. And I
And
just
one
want.
day I hope to meet you as well. I'll
Oh yeah, of
find my
course.
yeah, find myself in the US one day.
Or oh, maybe one day I'll be in the UK again.
Yes.
But definitely thank you guys so much that got to pop in or commented or gave compliments to her work. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you go follow on Instagram. And for those that may not know what I do, I shared a little bit of it in terms of the show, but my name's Lizzie, part of AnimeInkArt. That's my brand. Sometimes, so you, if you guys see, if I minimize this, oh no, that's not what I was supposed to do. But this is actually like a
Oh,
setup.
cool.
So that's like a lot of that is my art. That was like one of my old tablecloths. I have a new one now. But yeah, for those that don't know, that's like my way of showing the art because I don't have the art wall in the like in my living room like
Hey.
to do that. So yeah, so pretty much I um do anime inspired art. So it's traditionally like draw and then edit to make my own style, but I have been trying to do more like experiment with more original characters, and that's kind of like a goal that I have, or drawing different people and like that style. So that's what I'm trying to lean towards. I'm not trying to get copyrighted, I'm not trying to get in trouble, so that's the main thing also. But I also do cosplay when I get the chance. And shout out to Otaku Noir. They make blurred mystery boxes, and if you use code Anime Ink Art, you should get free shipping off your order. We were the cosplay model for them last year in February, and we just we do different collabs. We do our own cosplay looks, whether it's we try to do OCs or just from characters we like when we get the chance. Also, we do the podcasting now for Anime Ink Art Live Talks, and as you saw us to uplift different blurred creators. That's the mission statement in the brand anyways, so this is an extension of the brand. And we do that, and we also on the side, because we share it as well, we volunteer now for the past 9 months for Critical Care Comics. So we'll be at AniTomoCon to promote the Critical Care Comics. We'll also be, so that's like kind of my side project to table there, but also we'll be at Forest Hill Comic Con on May 31st to also promote Critical Care Comics. We go to the hospitals and we give toys and comics to children that can't come
Oh,
out or need it. So if you want to be a part, definitely go to the Critical Care Comics Instagram page and sign up. So whether you're in Las Vegas, New York, or South Carolina, you can sign up. And yeah, if I missed anything, definitely check Anime Ink Art. Anime Ink Art Live 1 is like the extension. We share the promos for the show and some of the clips as well. But the Anime Ink Art, you're going to see whatever I post that day because there's a lot to share. Definitely check out the broadcast channel and be on the lookout for different things that are happening, after May. And also for those that are in Trenton, just like shout out to the Cumid Link podcast. They had the clip when I was on their podcast the other day about my panel that's for this podcast that I'm going to be having at Capital City Anime Fest. So it's called Anime Inca Live Talks, an interactive podcast experience. So kind of like this, but I also had a roundtable talk. We get to talk more about like that question where I ask support in the community, but just issues or topics or experiences that you have as a blurred, just being part of the blurred space. We can talk about those topics in a convention space. So you feel safe talking about those things as a blurred creator. That's the goal of the podcast is going to be on June 6th. I believe my time slot is 3:30. I will make another post about it. So if you guys can make it, I really do appreciate it. And yeah, that's the gist of it. Go follow all the fun things in the link tree, and you guys will figure it out from there. But I appreciate you guys so much. And with that, we're signing out. Bye, guys.